My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I am reviewing Rouge Trafalgar by Christian Dior. This is £245 for 125ml. And if you love it, it's £345 for 250ml. The name, the genuine couture fragrance. Rouge Trafalgar is a lively and fruity scent. A joyful companion celebrating the designs that would light up Christian Dior's haute couture fashion shows. I don't know why I read that. I just want to get to the notes. I don't particularly want to go on about the color. So this is a fruity floral. The fragrance leads the dance around a burst of tangy red berries, strawberry and velvety raspberries. I like raspberries. Heightened by the freshness of sun-drenched mandarin. I like mandarin. Not all mandarin. Blackcurrant absolute. Oh my gosh, that's it. Blackcurrant absolute is very expensive. Right in the middle of the show of red fruits. Violet leaf absolute. Notes of wood, patchouli, and lingering musks slip in. Okay. I thought it was going to be a rose fragrance because it was red. That's why I got it. The thing I love about Dior fragrances is they are very, very professional. And I love all the inky on the bottom. Dior's very professional. I love that. Everything is like spot on and perfect. And as I've mentioned before, my previous job was safety assessing for companies. And then I did my own business. And kind of like I'm nitpickety about all of that. So let's have a look at the atomizer. Dior atomizers are good. See the color? I thought the color was going to be, I don't know, rose. Nice, white, dispersive. Labels are like put on beautifully, kind of everything about it. Now, I was watching something the other day and it said about the coloring. Generally speaking, colors that are used in perfume are derived from petrochemicals. And I was watching something about clean beauty and there was some woman going on about something, or it's a man in a supermarket or something. I don't know, I can't remember which one it was. They were both annoying me. And they were saying, if it was a man or the woman, I'm not sure, that the colouring is derived from petrochemicals and we shouldn't use that on our skin and it's damaging and all this clean beauty trend. When I release my cosmetics range, I'm going to be going into a lot more sort of cosmetic chemistry because I think clean beauty is a fad and kind of whatever. And I think generally speaking, things like the colorants are safety assessed and there's so much toxicology data behind it. Yes, they are derived from petrochemicals, but they are cleaned up, they're purified. You wouldn't be able to use them if they were unsafe. And there are some colorants which are toxic, but they're not used and you really wouldn't use them. And if I remember rightly, there were some neon ones that were carcinogenic. And in the EU were the first area of the world which removed them for sale because I safety assessed them and I had to fail. And I know that, and so the EU is very, very safe, very rigorous about what they do. So things like this are incredibly safe. And just because they're petrochemical is completely safe, like BHT, you know, you're talking about dosage, you're talking about area, you're talking about, there's so much that you have to think about as a toxicologist and a chemist. But this would be sort of blue, red or purple or three things. And this is going to be very safe. And I like the color. Do we have our bottles of Rouge Trafalgar? Are we engaged with a high self? Let's get testing. I love the magnetic caps. I love the atomizer. So this is one of my favorite perfumers. He inspired me to actually really do this. It's kind of, I remember getting the little rose elixir and just sort of my mind being blood. And I love rose. And I'm actually in reference to him because I think he's a great perfumer and I know he's retired now. It smells of berries. So what they're saying is you're getting that very berry sort of core of the fragrance built upon sort of musk, actually musk and hedione, ethylene bracelet. This perfumer, he used a lot of musk. He liked a lot of musk and he loved Hannibalide, which gives you sort of like a fruity, it can be used in lots of different directions, but Hannibalide can be used in men's perfumery to give sort of like a metallic hot iron sort of finish, or can be used in more fruity sort of fragrances to give a berry sort of finish, especially when mixed with ambretolide and ethylene bracelet, which is what's happening within here. The ethylene bracelet can smell sort of a bit vanilla-y, but within this sort of this accord, this would be used to give you this sort of like the background feel of the fragrance hedione and icy super to give it that sort of modern day feeling. And there was a comment I don't read comments at all really anymore, but there was one which I suppose everything is Isu Super. Not always actually, but Isu Super and Hedione are indispensable aroma chemicals. They are allergen free. They do so much within a formula, and actually without them, you get a completely different feel. And they can give sort of space within a formula. And when you're designing a formula, you need to think about the percentages of the raw materials. You need to think about sort of how the fragrance sort of envelops, how you're noticing it. So you can notice this note, and this note. And that's the formula. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. How the top, middle, and base notes sort of appear is sort of how they're placed upon the backbone. And there's different ways to sort of create perfume, and there's different sort of backbones, but Isu Super and Hedione in differing amounts generally give you that sort of just very, very easy to work with, and just sort of give you either a light and airy feel with Hedione at the top, or high cis Hedione, or a more woody velvet feel with Isu Super on the top. But the must choice in this is key, and there's a lot of fragrances where the must choice are sort of key in the fragrance. This has got the Lily of the Valley raw materials and a top note must to give it that sparkle and effervescence and softness. And Lily of the Valley raw materials give sort of softness, a floral elevation, sort of a soft floral elevation. And that's what's happening within this formula. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed it's not rose. I was kind of like psyched up that I was going to have a rose formula, and I was going to be talking about why I love rose, and instead I've got like a soft berry feel to my skin going on. So within the formula, you've got a throat notes, and then you really have got a masterclass in how to create a fruity, rosy sort of finish. And that is the DMBCA molecules, and that is the citronella and the linalool, all those sort of in perfect combination, and rose oxide is giving you a fruity, berry, rosy finish, sparkling, effervescence. Smells slightly older, smells sort of professional. Ionones helping to give it a bit more sort of violet, fluffy sort of finish. Ionones are indispensable within perfumery. You can do lots and lots of different things, but the sort of the violet finish at the base of this alpha ionol configuration, which is giving you the sort of the floral violet. I think the choice of naturals within this formula are key, and patchouli, vetiver, bergamot are working beautifully to give it sort of like darkness, just the right amount of darkness, the right amount of sort of greenness, and the right amount of sort of sparkle. Citruses can give sparkle. On to my final thoughts. As I said, I kind of went into this thinking this was a rose-based formulation. I'm kind of a little bit sort of taken aback by it, but I kind of really like it. It's sort of like a sweet from the ethyl maltol and heliotropin. It's like a sweet berry, slightly floral, clean smelling. And brachyolide at high amounts can sort of smell sort of clean and fresh. It smells clean, it smells fresh, it smells classically sort of French. It's got that sort of, it's reminded me of sort of like a clean, fresh linen, which is the Lily of the Valley sort of notes and the sort of the must choice. I think this is really classic, so I think this would be a good sort of officina scent. I think it's sort of more female leading. I would imagine that this is somebody's signature scent, which you would wear. It's not giving me the, the sort of going out and being crazy, sort of feel to it. It's quite professional, and I think it would be a great professional setting. The longevity is going to be great on this because of how it's constructed. I do like it. I think it sort of smells, it's sort of effervescent. I think it's professional. I think it smells like Dior. I think it smells French. I think it does sort of everything that you want. It does smell sort of red. I get the red sort of thing now because of the berries. I think on a technical level, I think this is really great classic perfumery. I love the way that the fruit aspect, or the plum, or the rose, or the mescone sort of like aspect has been really well crafted. These are difficult raw materials to work with. You get your percentages too high, and it just smells too much of a mescone sort of finish, which is not great. And too much DMBCA at the wrong concentration. That's really not great. That can smell like unripe sort of fruit, like when it's been ripened for a few days. But this, I think, smells perfect. I think it smells like symmetry. I think it smells like great classic perfumery. This is like a masterclass in how to really create beautiful perfumery. But it's not for me at all. So I'm going to mark it an 8 out of 10. I think it's like was just super fantastical, but I would never reach for this and I would never wear it. I think it's definitely female leading, sort of slightly older leading, but I think it's really great. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance views. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.